United missed out on Fernandes and Tonali, but the Nmecha chase tells you everything about where this club is heading. Welcome to CARRICK United Analysis, your trusted home for everything Manchester United. If you have not already subscribed to our YouTube channel, please go and do that right now. We bring you honest, passionate, and detailed coverage of every United story, every transfer, and every big moment at Old Trafford. Thousands of Red Devils fans already trust us as their #1 daily source, and we want you right here in this family too. Now let us get into one of the most important transfer conversations of this entire summer window, because this one cuts deep and demands complete honesty. Introduction. It has been a painful week at Manchester United. Two of their biggest midfield targets this summer, Matheus Fernandes from West Ham and Sandro Tonali from Newcastle, have both ended up at the same club, Tottenham Hotspur. The same club that finished 17th in the Premier League just 2 seasons in a row. The same club that United fans would never have expected to beat them to not 1 but 2 serious transfer targets in the same window. But here we are. And the question now is not how it happened or who to blame. The question now is what comes next. And the answer to that question appears to be Felix Nmecha of Borussia Dortmund, a 25-year-old Germany international, who Julian Nagelsmann himself has described as one of the best midfielders in the world. According to The Athletic and Team Talk, United have already made inquiries about Nmecha and are moving quickly. So let us break down the full story together and work out whether this new direction can still make this a successful summer for Manchester United. Chapter 1. How United lost both targets to Tottenham. Let us be honest about what happened, because this community deserves nothing less than the full truth. Matheus Fernandes had been United's priority midfield target all summer long. Sporting director Jason Wilcox had a personal relationship with the player going back to his time at Southampton, where he first brought Fernandes to England. United believed they were the frontrunners. Multiple journalists reported that Fernandes preferred United to any other club at the start of the process. But West Ham stood firm at their £85 million asking price, and Tottenham came in and matched it without any argument or any attempt to negotiate it down. United, unwilling to commit fully to that fee without stronger signs that the player was completely committed to them, stepped back. Fernandes informed United personally that his future was at Tottenham. Done. Then Sandro Tonali. United appreciated his quality. Club legend Paul Scholes went public calling on United to hijack Tottenham's move and sign the Italy international. But Tottenham were prepared to go all the way to £100 million for Tonali. United decided that figure was too high given the context around the player, who had missed a year of football serving a suspension related to a betting violation. And Tonali too went to Spurs. 2 targets, 1 week, both to Tottenham. That is the brutal reality of where United find themselves right now. Here is a question that every United fan reading this needs to sit with honestly. Is the issue that United are being outspent? Or is the issue that the club is not yet projecting a vision that makes players feel the burning desire to choose Old Trafford over the other options on the table? Chapter 2. Why United need midfield reinforcement so urgently. To understand why missing out on both of those targets stings so much, you need to look at the full midfield picture at Old Trafford right now, because it is more serious than it might look from the outside. Casemiro has left the club on a free transfer at the end of his contract. Whatever you thought of his performances in his final season, he brought experience, leadership, and defensive cover that is not easy to replace. Manuel Ugarte, who was signed from PSG last summer and was expected to be sold this summer to raise funds for other targets, suffered a devastating knee ligament injury while representing Uruguay at the World Cup. That injury means he cannot be sold, he cannot play, and the fee that United were planning to use from his departure cannot now be spent on bringing someone else in. So United are simultaneously dealing with one key midfielder walking out the door for free and another being taken off the market entirely through injury. The only positive in the midfield picture so far has been the £35 million deal to sign Ederson from Atalanta, which was confirmed in May and represents a genuine and promising addition. But Ederson alone is not the answer. Michael Carrick has made clear that the club needs more midfield quality and depth before this window closes. This is the context in which the pursuit of Nmecha now becomes the most important story of United's summer. Chapter 3. Who is Felix Nmecha? Now let us talk about the man himself, because Felix Nmecha is a player who every United fan should be genuinely excited about once they understand his full story and his full quality. Nmecha was born on the 10th of October 2000 in Hamburg, Germany. Here is the detail that makes this story particularly interesting for United fans. He grew up in the Manchester City Academy. He trained at the Etihad campus as a youngster and even represented England at youth international level during that time. He eventually made the decision to switch to Germany, the country of his birth, and pursue his career through the Bundesliga rather than wait for opportunities in England. After leaving City, he went to Anderlecht in Belgium, then to Wolfsburg in the Bundesliga, where he had 2 impressive seasons of consistent first-team football. Borussia Dortmund were so convinced by what they saw that they paid around €30 million to sign him permanently in 2023. And in March 2026, they showed their continued belief in him by handing him a contract extension until 2030. At the World Cup this summer, Nmecha started all 4 of Germany's games before they were knocked out on penalties by Paraguay. He scored a goal and registered an assist across those 4 appearances. His physical dominance and his technical quality in the middle of the pitch earned him enormous praise from coaches and pundits around the world. And then there are the words of Julian Nagelsmann, the Germany national team manager, who called Nmecha one of the best midfielders in the world. Not one of the best young midfielders, one of the best in the world, full stop. When a national team manager of Nagelsmann's standing says something like that, you listen. At 25 years old, Nmecha is right in the perfect window of his career, old enough to be completely developed and ready, young enough to give United 5 to 7 more peak seasons if they sign him now, and according to Bild in Germany, he would like to return to Manchester, the city where he grew up as a footballer, this time wearing red instead of blue. Chapter 4. The fee situation and the gap to bridge. Let us be straight about the money side of this deal, because the numbers have been reported in confusing and contradictory ways, and the community deserves clarity. Initial reports from Germany place Dortmund's asking price at €120 million, which is the kind of figure that would make almost any deal impossible. Some follow-up reports put the figure at around €100 million. But Team Talk, one of the most reliable outlets covering this story with direct sources, confirmed something very important. Dortmund are actually prepared to accept less than €100 million if genuine interest develops. Their real number in a proper negotiation is believed to be around £86 million, rather than the extreme figures quoted in some German reports. There is also a release clause in Nmecha's contract worth €69 million, which works out at around £59 million. The catch is that this clause does not become active until next summer in 2027. So United cannot simply trigger it now and get him at that price. They would need to negotiate directly with Dortmund for this window and meet a fee somewhere in the range that both parties can accept. Team Talk also reported that United would prefer to pay a figure closer to £50 million. That gap between what United want to pay and what Dortmund expect to receive is the main obstacle right now, but it is not an insurmountable one. Transfer negotiations almost always start with a gap between 2 positions. What matters is whether both sides have the will to find the middle ground. Here is a question worth thinking about. If United wait until next summer and trigger the £59 million release clause, they save money, but risk losing him to Chelsea or another club in this window. Is waiting for a cheaper deal next year worth that risk, given how urgently the midfield needs strengthening right now? Chapter 5. The competition and why United must move fast. One of the most important things to understand about the Nmecha situation is that United are not the only club in the race. Far from it. Newcastle United were initially monitoring Nmecha closely given their own uncertainty over Bruno Guimaraes and Sandro Tonali, but Team Talk confirmed that Newcastle have backed away from a deal, finding Dortmund's valuation too high for their budget in this window. Chelsea are a different story. Team Talk reported that of all the Premier League clubs who have been approached about Nmecha in the past month, United and Chelsea have shown the strongest and most serious interest. Both clubs have had their scouts watching him at the World Cup. Both clubs have the financial capacity to potentially meet what Dortmund are asking, and Chelsea have shown throughout this summer that when they want a player, they do not hang around. United's head of scouting, Christopher Vivell, has been in close contact with Nmecha's agents throughout this process. That is a very encouraging sign. When the person leading your recruitment operation is personally engaged in direct conversations with a player's representatives, it shows real intent rather than casual interest. Vivell is German himself and has natural connections in conversations with a German player and his camp. That personal understanding could give United a meaningful advantage if they choose to use it properly. But the lesson of the Fernandes situation needs to be learned and applied immediately. United cannot wait too long, hope the price comes down on its own, and then find themselves watching Chelsea announce the signing instead. Chapter 6. How Nmecha fits the CARRICK project. Let us paint the picture of what Felix and Nmecha at Manchester United would actually look like, because this is genuinely the most exciting part of the whole conversation. Carrick has been building United around clear principles. He wants intensity, physicality, work rate, and players who can contribute at both ends of the pitch. He wants midfielders who can defend and then immediately become the driving force of an attack. In the modern game, that kind of all-action box-to-box midfielder is one of the most valuable things a team can have. Nmecha is almost the perfect description of that player. He covers enormous ground. He wins physical battles in midfield. He can receive the ball under pressure and use it well in tight spaces. He carries the ball forward with pace and purpose. He arrives late into attacking positions and he scores goals, 5 of them across 42 appearances for Dortmund last season. He is strong enough to handle the physical demands of the Premier League immediately without any adjustment period. Alongside the already signed Ederson and the existing presence of Kobbie Mainoo, adding Nmecha would give Carrick a midfield 3 with real balance and real quality. Ederson provides control and composure. Mainoo provides creativity and technical quality. Nmecha provides power, energy, and a constant physical and attacking threat from deep. That combination would be one of the most complete midfield units in the Premier League. He also brings Champions League experience from his time at Dortmund, having played in some of European football's biggest nights. That experience matters enormously when United are looking to go deep in Europe next season. Chapter 7. A message to the community and what needs to happen. Next to everyone here in the Carrick United Analysis community, this has been a week that required patience and trust in the process. Losing Fernandes and Tonali to Tottenham hurts. But great clubs do not fall apart when the transfer window does not go perfectly in the first few weeks. They adapt, they identify the next opportunity, and they act with decisiveness when that opportunity is clear. Felix Nmecha is that opportunity. He is 25 years old. He is at the peak of his powers. His national team manager calls him one of the best midfielders in the world. He wants to return to Manchester, and United's head of scouting is already in conversation with his camp. What this community should be demanding loudly and clearly is that United do not repeat the same mistake that cost them Fernandes. Do not dither. Do not wait for the price to drop on its own. If Nmecha is the right player for this team and for this project, then go and get him. Make the call, agree the fee, get him through the door, and let him prove on the Old Trafford pitch exactly why Nagelsmann says he is among the best in the world. The window is still open. The rebuild is still happening. And the best chapters of this summer story may still be ahead of us. Conclusion. Let us pull everything together. Manchester United are exploring midfield alternatives after losing out on Matheus Fernandes and Sandro Tonali to Tottenham Hotspur, with both deals representing significant setbacks in a window where the midfield rebuild is absolutely essential given the departures of Casemiro and the injury to Manuel Ugarte. According to The Athletic and Team Talk, United have made inquiries about Felix Nmecha of Borussia Dortmund, the 25-year-old Germany international who started all 4 World Cup games, who has been called one of the best midfielders in the world by Julian Nagelsmann, and who wants to return to Manchester. Dortmund are asking for around £86 million, but sources indicate they would negotiate below €100 million. Chelsea are United's main competition. Christopher Vivell is personally in contact with the players' agents. The deal is possible. United just need to decide to make it happen. Here is the question for every member of this community. Should United match whatever Dortmund ask for Nmecha and get the deal done this week before Chelsea can step in? Or do you think there is a better alternative available that United should be chasing instead? Drop your answer in the comments below. We want to hear from every single one of you. Share this blog with every United fan you know, and if you have not subscribed to the Carrick United Analysis YouTube channel, yet please do it right now. We are your most trusted daily source for everything Manchester United, giving you the honest story every single day. Fernandes and Tonali went to Spurs, but Nmecha is waiting. United just need to go and get him. Up the Red Devils, always.